Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Ono, and I'd like to read you a book called Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King. It is written by Jean Marzollo. It's illustrated by J. Brian Pinkney. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. His parents loved him very much. Martin Luther King had the same name as his father, except for one thing. His father was called Martin Luther King Sr. Martin was called Martin Luther King Jr. Martin went to elementary school, high school, and college in Atlanta. He was a good student. Later, he went to divinity school in Pennsylvania. Martin became a pastor, just like his dad, at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. They were both called Reverend, the Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Martin's job as a minister was to help people in need. He visited sick people in the hospital and helped them feel better. He asked people not to fight with each other. He said that there were peaceful ways to solve problems. And like his father, Martin led people in prayer and song. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. is famous because he helped our country change some of the laws. A law is like a rule. Once there was a law in some places that said only white people could sit in the front of a bus and that black people had to sit in the back. Martin Luther King said this law needed to be changed. Rosa Parks and other people helped him change it. Now all people can sit in any empty seat they like. Once there were laws in some places that said that African Americans could only eat in certain restaurants and use certain drinking fountains. Martin Luther King and many other people helped change these laws. Now all people can share the same restaurants and drinking fountains. This one says for white people only, and this one says for colored people or people with a darker color of skin. And those laws were changed. Once there was a law in some places that said that black children and white children couldn't go to school together. Martin Luther King and other people, including many very brave children, had this law changed too. Now black children and white children can go to school together. Doesn't make any difference what color skin you have. Martin Luther King had a special talent for leadership. When he spoke, people listened. Poor people, rich people, white people, black people, and people from all around the world listened when Martin Luther King spoke. Many helped him work, march, sing, and pray for justice. Boys and girls, justice means doing the right thing. In the summer of 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. gave the most famous speech of his life. He gave it outdoors to 250,000 people who had come to Washington, D.C. to ask the president for jobs and freedom for all people, including the black people and the brown people. His dream was that people everywhere would learn to live together without being mean to one another. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed in 1968. Because he loved people so much, he was given a special funeral in Atlanta, Georgia, where he was born. His body was put into a simple farm cart and pulled slowly by 2 mules to a cemetery. Thousands of people walked behind Martin in a sad and loving parade. On his gravestone were carved these beautiful words, free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Martin Luther King wanted people to be able to go places together, share food together, and love one another in peace. Because he worked so hard for freedom and helped so many people gain it, We honor him every year on this special day. We call this day Martin Luther King Day, and we say to him, Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. There's the book. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. Boys and girls, this moment in history was happening when I was just a little kid, and I remember that children were not allowed to go to school together based upon the color of their skin. And I remember that people were discriminated against based upon the color of their skin. And he made a difference in America. And we honor him by giving him a holiday every January on the third Monday of the month. And that's why there's a day off from school this coming Monday. He asked people to volunteer. Volunteer means to do things for other people without getting paid. And the day of service, or the day of volunteering, is actually this coming Monday. I hope that your family will talk about this and that you will learn from Dr. Martin Luther King. Thank you for listening, everybody. I appreciate your time.